That's probably a good way to describe it. All right, so we're gonna move off to the next portion of the stream. So this is part of, people have been asking me to react to different things, and we were talking about this earlier in the stream. Um, One of the things I'm going to actively start doing is reacting to BS like this that I see on the internet. So whether it's, yeah, anytime I see these types of videos, we're going to be doing these on Sundays at the very least. So if you guys have videos like this that you want to send my way that you want me to react to, please do, because we're going to mock these types of videos 100% from here on out. I'm not a big streamer, but I am getting bigger as a streamer, and I'm going to use my power for good. My power is to focus on the positivity in gaming, how games are fun, how 2025 is the best year of gaming that I've ever had. And yes, there are things that happen in the world that suck. But when you focus your entire channel, like when I Google this guy who used to be a really good content creator, when I Google him, and he still can produce some good content. But the thing is like if you plug in Mr. Matty Plays or Luke Stevens or any of these guys into YouTube, this is what you're going to see. They farm rage and they farm hate, and they only focus on the crappy parts of gaming. And I don't think that that's fair, because video games are a source of entertainment and we should be playing games to have fun, and that's what they're there for, to entertain us. It's like watching a film, we're there to watch a movie to be entertained. And I think it's very disingenuous to, and this is not attacking these individuals personally. Let's get that out of the way right now. We're not making personal attacks on these individuals. What we are mocking and attacking is the doom and gloom, where everything is about doom and gloom. So this was the one that I got asked about. I said, "Hey, did you see Matty Play's recent video on Xbox and Bethesda?" And I went, "No, I haven't, because I don't actually watch Matty Plays anymore, because this type of content is all he produces anymore." And so it kind of made me go, occasionally he'll throw something in like, is Death Stranding 2 really that good? And this is a somewhat, there are some kernels in here, but this is the one I want to poke at. And what I, we're not gonna watch the whole video, and I'm gonna tell you why. But I do want to watch the beginning stage of this video, and here's what I want to focus on. What is the purpose of making a video that is doom and gloom, other than simply to make rage bait content that pays clicks? Because that video got 135,000 views in a day. So there's probably going to be an ad. If I can skip it, I will. Okay.
All right, it's me again, and I don't have good news for you. I apologize. I know it's been a real.
I don't have good news for you. Well, then what is the purpose of making a video that's not a positive video? I have to ask that question. Like, you get out of the world what you put into the world. This is the one thing, Dar. This is the one where he starts off apologizing for being negative. And I'm like, well, then what's the point of making the video?
All right, it's me again, and I don't have good news for you. I apologize. I know it's been a real negative week. I am very thankful we got our Stop Killing Games and Elder Scrolls 6 videos out, because this has all been worse than I imagined. And
So he apologizes. It's been a shitty week, guys, but we're going to double down. We're going to double down. Sorry, not sorry. No, it's been a shitty week, but I'm going to make it even shittier. Let's focus on the negatives, guys, because that's how I make money on the internet.
if I'm real honest with you, I don't think it gets much worse than what we're about to read here today.
It doesn't get much worse than this, which is why I'm going to focus on it.
So just want to put it right up front that this is going to be a negative video, and if you're not in a great headspace by the end of this video, based on what I'm about to read to you from Bloomberg and IGN, I think you'll be more angry at both Xbox leadership as well as the hand that was dealt to ZeniMax Online Studios.
So let me make your already shitty week worse by reading you some really shitty news. And if you're already in a negative headspace, sorry guys, I'm going to add gasoline to that fire and we're going to put you in an even shittier mood. So this is why I want to point this out. I am tired of seeing this type of content on the internet, which is why I am, and again, I'm going to get attacked by Matty Plays and his community for making this video. Um, Matty Plays has made some really good content in the past. I don't want people to think that I'm attacking him. What I'm attacking is this concept of we're only ever focusing on the negative. We're not focusing on anything positive. All we're doing is doom and gloom. Right, Hunter, we're creating division. We're making more money from the division. And we're literally in the first 35 seconds of this video, of his video, all he has said is, sorry guys, I have shitty news. I'm going to add to it. We're going to pile on. If you're not in a good headspace, sorry, I'm going to make it even worse for you. Let's get depressed together. Let's celebrate how shitty things are. Rah. And we're not going to watch the rest of that video because I don't want to waste my time on it. I miss his older content as well, Thandar. But the problem is like when you Google content creators or you're in YouTube and you're looking and it's like, this is insane. It gets worse. Pure incompetence. Is this bad? And we're getting beyond him. Like we're getting to other content. It gets crazier. What's going on? You'll own nothing. Where's it at? Is it worth it? You know, like, and then we have some of my stuff down here. It's it's unfortunate that we it is absolutely true that it sucks that what happened at Microsoft, 9,000 people losing their jobs. That sucks. It does suck. Um, and we can recognize that and we can have empathy for that. But when I see people say things um, like gaming in 2025, it's the worst year for gaming ever. And then I go play games like, we're playing Death Stranding 2 right now. We're playing Dune Awakening. We have coming up, we have like Tales of the Shire, the Destiny 2 expansion. We have Mafia: The Old Country. We've got Ghost of Yotai, Borderlands 4, um, Outer Worlds 2, so many great games coming up this year. We've got the upcoming Expanse game. We've got the upcoming Exodus game. This year alone, we've played bangers like KCD2, um, Expedition 33, The Altars, South of Midnight. At the beginning of the year, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Like all of these amazing games. And if your channel is about gaming, or it used to be about gaming, I just this frustrates me because I liked the gaming content and still like the gaming content that he produces. But there's also look at like everything that Luke Stevens produces these days. Like if we go look at Luke Stevens, Moist Critical is guilty of it too. Um, is it Stevens with the PH? I think it's with a PH. He has so many channels though, it's kind of hard, but like yeah, let's focus on the cancellation and layoffs. Let's blame it on sabotage. Like we're focusing on, oh, Mind's Eye had these big problems. Um, Xbox execs were blown away by the ZeniMax game that got canceled. Like, let's just focus on the shitty parts of the news. I don't think his are quite as bad as Matty Plays. Um, but I don't see these guys really ever making like here it is. Luke Stevens, it's a mess. Like Mind's Eye is a mess. And it's like I've played like as an example, Stalker 2 was a buggy mess when it launched, and I played a buggy hot mess, and I did 60 hours of that game before they did a patch, and it was rough. But I didn't ever make a video talking about how shitty the game was, or how it's a hot mess, or something feels off, or it's totally a wreck. I just played the game, and streamed it and had fun with it. And I think that if you if you are only like you get out of life what you put in. And I have been accused of toxic positivity on my channel before, but I've responded to that by saying life is too short to always be focusing on things that make you angry or depressed or pissed off. There are so many things in life that you could be focusing on that bring you joy and bring joy to other people. Um, right, Angry Joe has been starting to skew in this direction as well, for sure. And in the beginning, like Angry Joe was always sort of like it was, um, making fun of things, but it has since become like um, less about mocking those things and more being seriously upset. Well, I think part of the problem though is if you ever watch these guys live, or if you read the comments on their videos, the audience is projecting on them, and it's sort of like there's that saying that you are who you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with negativity and doom and gloom, then you're just going to feel that way about things naturally because everyone around you is filled with doom and gloom. There is an easy solution to this, and that's you just ignore the doom and gloom. And it's not, I don't think that that's by being naive. It's choosing not to focus on that. There's enough negative shit going on in the world right now with people losing their homes to, you know, horrible things happening in with Palestine and Israel and all the stuff with Ukraine and Russia and races in the United States and religious persecution in all these countries around the world. Like there are legitimately bad things to be upset about. Video games should not be one of them. Video games, and I've talked about this before, I can remember going back to being, a 5-year-old kid and holding a Nintendo controller in my hand and just being in awe of the graphics on screen. And I think that some of these guys have lost that plot because all they focus on is the negativity and doing things like, you know, um, making these sensational thumbnails. This is insane. I can't believe this happened. It's way worse, guys. Like what what good does this do? What positivity does this put into the world? What purpose does this video serve other than to pile on? The first 35 seconds of the This Is Insane video was him literally apologizing for, hey guys, things are shitty. I'm going to make it even shittier. And we're going to take that shittier and we're going to pile on more shit. And I'm sorry if your headspace sucks. Maybe you're on the brink of doing something that you wouldn't normally do if your headspace was in a right space, but I'm going to push you over the edge with this really crazy shit that I'm about to talk about, and I'm going to make your life even more miserable. I'm going to make you hate your existence even more by pushing this video out because it's going to make me money. And I just don't think that that's something that I don't think it's good. And I do think that these guys have made good content in the past, and I wish they would get back to making good content. Yeah, Asmongold's a good example. I was talking about this the other day. I used to watch Asmongold when he played World of Warcraft, when his mom was still around, and he would sit in his he would go out on the porch and he would sit on the back porch and he would just talk about life. And I resonated with that. He's like 15 years younger than me, but I resonated with the times when he would sit on his porch and talk about life. And his gaming persona was a little over the top, but I was like, you know, his on the porch moments were cool. It was relatable. And then he just went, his mom died and he just dove bomb into this cesspool, and his community props him up and wants him to react to that kind of stuff. And so that's what he does these days. That's all he focuses on. And I just wish that you wouldn't do stuff like this, guys. There is no reason to pile on. There is no reason to make people feel shittier about an already shitty life and an already shitty day. Please, 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 please go back to playing video games and focusing on the positive things about the games that you play rather than only ever focusing on the negatives, because there are great games out there. Death Stranding 2 that we're playing right now. We're playing Dune Awakening. We've got Tales of the Shire coming up. We've got Destiny 2. We've got Mafia Old Country, we've got Borderlands 4, we've got all the games that I was mentioning earlier. Ghost of Yotai is coming out. And of course, you know these guys are going to sit there as soon as each one of those games comes out. Ghost of Yotai is already going to be the big one because they're going to be like, oh, it's a female protagonist. They went woke. Sucker Punch went woke. Ah, it's way worse than you thought, guys. Oh, Jesus. And again, the Microsoft situation does suck, but what good does it serve me or my audience or the world by me just sitting there focusing on those negatives? Like, it's the world sucks, right? Shitty things happen every single day. I could take you on a walk around my hometown where I live, and I could show you people who live in abject poverty. Would you do anything about those people? Would you give a shit? Could you do anything about those people even if you were in a position? Like, the reality is that there are shitty things happening to people all over the world that have nothing to do with video games. There are things like alcoholism, there are things like inflation, there are things like, poor education, poor employment protection, um, lack of women's rights, lack of trans and homosexual rights. We have religious persecution. We have bombs being dropped. We have people being displaced from their homes. There are bad things happening all over the world every single day. Can you fix them as an individual? Could you maybe focus on something to bring joy into people's lives rather than only focusing on the negatives? Maybe wouldn't it be better to be the light of hope in a person's life who's having a really shitty day rather than make a video that apologizes for, hey, you might be having a shitty day, but I'm going to make your day even worse. Get in, strap in. Let's take that shit and smear it all over our faces and light it on fire because that's how I make money. And it just really disgusts me to see that. Um, I think it's far better to be a beacon of hope and focus on the fun in video games because that's what video games are supposed to be about, is having fun and not being just it really made me kind of cranky when I saw that the first few seconds of that clip the other day, because it was like, you're literally telling people, hey guys, let's make it worse. Let's just pile on. And I'm totally going to steal his thumbnail where it says, this is insane. And I'm just going to put my face over the top of that. And we're going to use that for that particular clip. This is insane. It is.